Okay, so now going through the analysis page. So on here, you're going to just get a few different metrics looking at how you've been performing. Up the top here, we've got the live equity curve. Okay, so what this does is it compares your current performance with a fixed risk example. Okay, so say for example, you've been following along with the dynamic risk models. Okay, it says that you would be up 34.89%. Okay, now you don't have to be following along with it. You can be using your custom risk, but that is just the value that is tracking your current trading performance. So it says you're up 34.89, okay, up here at trade number 20. Now the fixed risk, okay, depending on whether you choose accelerated or reserved risk model, okay, will either use a fixed 1% risk or a fixed 0.5% risk. And it just simulates exactly the trades that you've taken, but what would happen if you just applied the same risk every single trade. Okay, and you can see that already there is a little bit of difference there, just over 20 trades. Okay, so you can see how by adjusting that risk threshold up and down, you can actually make more money for exactly the same trades. So that is what this shows, okay, and of course you can break that down into all time, which will just be everything. Okay, you've got the week, so just what's happened the current week, there's no data there. The current month will just show you the monthly data. For the year, shows you what's been going on for that. And then you've got since your last reset, and that just means since the last time you updated your trading profile, because every time you update your trading profile, e.g. you change the account balance, you change the risk type, what will happen is it will reset your risk parameters. Okay, everything gets reset to baseline, and then you then trade on from that point. So it's just basically showing you what happened since your last reset. Okay, and it will show you the date of that reset in there. So it's just an extra metric, but of course if you're just interested in how you've generally been performing, you can just put it on all time, for example, or just like the current year, and it will just show you that. Okay, you can see every single point, what happened, okay, the trade data, and yeah, it just gives you a good idea as to how you've been performing. So over here on the right hand side, what we have is the Fusion score. So this is quite a good overall metric as to just how you've generally been performing as a trader. Okay, now it tracks 5 different metrics. Okay, it tracks your risk, it tracks your profitability, your consistency, your discipline, and how well you can recover. Okay, and over time, as you input more and more data, it will be looking at different calculations and metrics. Okay, it will be looking at the type of entries you have. It will be analyzing every single individual trade. It will be looking at the goals that you achieve, a whole collection of different things. And what it does is it will put that into a score, and it will tell you how well that you've been trading. Okay, so everyone will start off, in the developing stage, and then as you get going, you'll become advanced. Okay, and try and build up to that sort of elite status where you are really performing at a high level, and all your trading information, okay, is showing that. So that gives you just a good indication as to how you've been trading. And then at the bottom here, we just have a little RiskFusion lab. Now this is quite a cool little tool, and it just sort of gives you an idea as to the power of using RiskFusion, okay, and the power of using dynamic risk over a long period of time. And it kind of gives you a good visual understanding of that. So say for example, okay, you had just a small account of, let's say, £1,000, okay, and just over a sample size, something small of, say, 100 trades, okay, and you were trading the accelerated risk model. Let's say on average you win every trade you win 3R, and every trade you lose, you just lose a fixed 1R. Okay, and then let's say your win percentage was, I don't know, say around 45%, and you break even maybe 5%. Okay, so then what it does is, as you generate, it gives you an idea as to what happens in a random scenario of trades. Okay, it's a complete random sequence based on around about those values. Okay, you can see the actual here, the win rate that for this scenario was actually 40%, break even, it gave you 6, and it said you lost about 54% of the time. Okay, starting balance was 1,000. And what it does is it just gives you a good overview. So it says that with the dynamic risk, you ended up 131% on the account, whereas a fixed risk, you would only be at 90% for the exact same trading. So, it's a clear indication there. If you just follow the dynamic risk, you're not doing anything differently. It's the same trade, and yet it made you an extra 40% on your account. okay, just purely through using the statistical models. So it's a great tool just to give you a little insight into the future prediction of what can be if you did just consistently apply, say you were a consistent trader. It could be a massive difference on your account. This really can be the difference between making you a break-even trader and a profitable trader, because suddenly, say you're a break-even trader and you're doing your fixed risk. Now that you're using dynamic risk, even though you were a break-even trader, you're now actually in profit because it would make you more money over time on that account. Okay, so it can be a very, very powerful thing, and this RiskFusion lab just kind of explains that. Now you can play around with these values, play around with the risk models, however you like, okay, just to kind of see how the predictions play out. So yeah, that's everything that we have here in the analysis page. Just gives you some really good insights and tools that you can use to help you with your trading. So yeah, now let's move on to the My Profile page.